How are you, Denzil?
I'm great, Chris. Yeah, thanks for asking. I'm actually feeling positive at the moment. It's been an interesting time lately. Lots going on, but I think both you and I feel very much the same at the moment, in that the circumstances have illuminated the beauty of the place that we live, and it's given me a profound gratitude to be here. It's like falling in love all over again. And that's reflected with the conversations I'm having with buyers who are at the moment very much coming out of metropolitan areas and looking at this location as a refuge, which we've been talking about. Yeah.
Talking about big metropolitan areas, you spent a lot of time in a big metropolitan area, one of the biggest metropolitan areas over in London. How did you, tell us a little bit about your background? There's people who have long been associated with our business wouldn't know how you ended up here. So just spend a bit of time telling us about your journey to First National.
Well, probably going back even further. Obviously, I grew up in the UK, and I first came to Byron 25 years ago now. I did a little time at Byron High, and then went to university in Lismore, and then down to Melbourne to do my master's in film, and I worked in the film industry for many years, and have worked and lived in many places around the world. The US and Canada, and most recently back in the UK in London, where I was working in the tech sector, in advertising, tech sort of hybrid, and my partner and I discovered we were going to become parents, and we decided that we were going to come back to Byron, which again goes back to the idea of, it's just the most perfect place to...
Why did you choose, you're living in London then,
Yeah.
and you found out you were going to have your first child. Why here? Why did you choose to come here?
Byron, to me, has always resonated because it has just enough going on. It really embodies the ability to have that work-life balance. The natural environment is beautiful. The demographic here is very transient and diverse. The culture, the food, when you think about a town of this size and the amazing amount of places you can go out for food, it punches so well above its weight.
We're transient, I'm interested in that word. We're transient on one level with our backpackers and our tourists and our visitors, but we've got this amazing permanent passionate population and community here. Before you moved back here, how many years, by the way, have you been living in the Byron Bay community? How many years have you been back living here?
Back this time, probably 3.5 years, but as I say, I've always been based here for like 25 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when you came back here 3.5 years ago, what made you choose to get into the profession you're in now, and one I must say indeed that you're doing really well at? Why did you choose real estate?
It's been an interesting path. My mum and my dad back in the UK did have a real estate office. Well, probably, I don't know, I'm trying to think how many years that would be, 40 years ago or something, when they were very, very young. My dad was an architect after that, and I've grown up with a passion and appreciation for property. So that was always in my blood, and then coupled with that, I'm fascinated by people, and the real estate has so much. The focus really for me is the people, and I always say that I don't sell property, I sell dreams, I sell lifestyles. And that really requires an acute ability to listen, understand, and emotionally engage buyers. A home on not an investment, but a home on a base level is a box in which we create and store memories. And once you really drill down into that and understand how a property can unlock a certain lifestyle for people, and what it is that's driving the purchase. That's where it becomes very, very interesting. And, you know, on that level, some great results can be achieved too, you know.
And you've achieved some great results. I think we both, in the last 7 or 8 weeks, I have, and I know we've had this conversation, been surprised by, and I'll use your word again, refuge, but the safety feeling and emotion that goes through people about this area in conversations you've got with buyers who want to pick their families up from some unusual locations and move them here. Tell us a little bit about, you had a sale a little while ago down in the Lillipilly area, Byron, where you were able to combine your creativity with your marketing and do something that was very unusual early in the crisis. Well, 7 weeks ago?
Yeah, so great story. It was a young couple. This was their first home that they had built from the ground up. So much love and energy gone into it. And the reason behind their sale was that they were expecting their first child. And she was going to stop work and they wanted to downsize in terms of their mortgage. So we set the idea of a campaign in place, and then wallop, COVID came along, and right in the middle of everything, we're just about to get started, and I made a promise to them. I said, I will sell your house before your baby arrives. They were like a month. We had probably 5 weeks till the due date.
Big promise.
Big promise.
A lot of pressure.
And so we set about a very, very dynamic marketing campaign. I got some fantastic editorial for them. It became, and our photographer Ollie here did a magnificent job shooting it. It
was a great job.
It made it look so beautiful, and it became the most viewed house in Australia. 120,000 views on realestate.com, and that was partly because there was a lot of people sitting at home on the internet. Right now there's a lot of people with time, and they're focusing that on searches, and they're also questioning their location, their lifestyle. We're seeing a paradigm shift towards people being able to work from home. The concept of distributed workforces is now proven and will be an ongoing phenomenon beyond COVID. So there's a lot of fluidity in where people can be. So we ran that campaign. We used some innovative technologies, which we're now, applying across all our listings. So full video walkthroughs, that's 15 minutes. It's the next best thing to actually being there. And I mean, we show everything behind the bins, in the attic spaces. There's no stone left unturned. We're doing 3D floor plans, and we after 28 days, we had 8 offers, 5 were sight unseen. And that's a testament to, the technologies and be able to assure people what the property, that there are no surprises. Those offers, 2 were from Hollywood, 1 from New York, 1 from Shanghai, and a whole bunch from other metropolitan areas in Australia. We achieved a fantastic price for the young parents to be, a suburb record, 2.25, and then I think 5 days later they welcomed their baby girl to the world, so they were absolutely delighted.
I don't think I've heard too many stories in all my years in real estate that are as good as that story. What did you learn as a marketing agent, as a salesman? What did you learn through that process?
I think, firstly, it reinforced what we were just discussing about Byron as a refuge. A lot of the buyer motivation to come here was, out of the circumstances. The buyer actually resides in Los Angeles for most of the year, but she can't go home, so she wanted a base here. Byron is a safe haven in times of uncertainty. Also in times of uncertainty, I think, what's eliminated is how humans focus on what's important. The home then becomes a sanctuary. especially because we were spending so much time in them, it became more important than ever. So beautiful homes or home spaces that resonate with people became very important. In terms of marketing, we employed some great technologies, but one that trumps them all was actually this, which is a telephone. So this one is my 3-year-old daughter's. So so I just wanted to bring that. It's something that, and that's, I show you that because everybody can use it. My daughter, who's 3, this is her toy one, but she tries to pick up mine, and and just speaking to people, and that's what we've been doing through this time. I think the idea of community is something that's very back of mind in good times. But when there are challenges in front of us, that's really the test of a community. I think we've seen in Byron great connection in the fabric of our community with people reaching out to anybody who might be vulnerable, checking in with people, supporting businesses that are struggling, trying to find ways to do that. And that brings me to another word which has really come to the forefront is adaptation. And that's fundamental in all forms of survival, and that's what we've done as an agency under your guidance, which has been fantastic, and throughout the community, people adapting and changing the way that they operate to try and survive.
I think the wonderful thing for all of us here, and to reinforce what you've just said, is that we live in a very, very beautiful part of the world. We're spoiled, we know we are. But the last couple of months have been interesting for a lot of us because we've heard, because everyone's had more time to have good conversations. All conversations have lengthened in time, which has been fabulous. But we've heard from a lot of buyers in the last couple of months what's special about this place and why they want to come here. And I think what it's done for a lot of us who've been blessed to live here for a long time is it has allowed us to reconnect with our own area and to realise how lucky we are. And I think for all our team here at First National, for our wonderful property managers that are dealing with the landlords and the tenants, for all the sales agents in our business, it's put a spring in our step. I think we've felt we live in a wonderful place that other people want to come and move to, in spite of the fact we're in a pandemic. We are making sales. We're using innovating technology. We've just purchased a new virtual tour camera that's going to become part of what we're doing. And most importantly, we're able to help people sell houses before they give birth to babies, and you were able to honour your promise. Thanks for joining us today, Denzil. You've become a very important part of our team, and they were great stories. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Cheers.
All right.